CCTV footage from Wang Yibo's car accident revealed. It began like a whisper that turned into a storm. A headline that painted shock across the skyline of fame. CCTV footage from Wang Yibo's car accident revealed. The words alone set the internet ablaze, like sparks thrown into a sea of dry secrets waiting to ignite. Fans froze, hashtags soared, and silence wrapped the digital air before chaos broke free. For weeks, the accident had been a mystery wrapped in whispers, fragments of truth drifting between fear and disbelief. They said Wang Yibo had been driving alone that rainy night, but the truth, the footage, told a story that no one saw coming. The leaked video didn't begin with the crash. It began with calm. The sleek black car glided through the Beijing night, its headlights slicing through sheets of rain like silver swords. The streets shimmered, soaked in reflections of neon signs and broken dreams. Inside, Yibo sat still, the kind of calm that hides thunder behind the ribs. His fingers tapped gently on the steering wheel, keeping rhythm to a song no one could hear. Then something flickered, a shadow in the rearview mirror. The footage showed it clearly, a white car trailing close, too close, almost breathing against his taillights. At first, it looked like coincidence. But as the seconds rolled, the scene turned colder. The white car didn't just follow, it mimicked. Every turn, every brake, every pulse of the road mirrored. The online world gasped. Frame by frame, people dissected it. Analysts claimed the white car was trying to overtake him. Others whispered darker things, that someone had planned it, that this was no accident, that this was a message meant for silence. Then came the sound, a thunderous crack as metal kissed metal. The screen flashed white, then black, then chaos, the screech of tires, the desperate cry of rain hitting broken glass. The camera jolted. Sparks flew like shattered stars. And through the blur, one figure stumbled out. Wang Yibo, drenched, dazed, but breathing. He pulled himself from the wreck like a man dragging his soul out of fire. His white shirt was stained, his face pale, his breath trembling against the storm. The world paused there, at that single frame, because just behind him, another figure emerged. The internet held its breath. The figure's face was half hidden, but the outline, the posture, the unmistakable air, it sent fans spiraling into theories and tears. Because even in grainy black and white, that calm presence, that protective stance, that hand reaching out, it looked like xiaozhan. Comments flooded the world like rain. Is that xiaozhan? He was there. They said he was abroad. How is this possible? But what came next turned disbelief into devotion. The second clip. Security footage from a nearby camera caught what no one expected. As Yibo leaned against the guardrail, clutching his arm, the mysterious man, still hooded, came closer. He wrapped his coat around Yibo's shoulders and said something no microphone caught. But the movement of Yibo's lips, captured in high definition, broke 1,000 hearts. He said, "You came." That moment went viral. It wasn't a scream. It wasn't drama. It was quiet, the kind of quiet that carries truth like a confession. People replayed it endlessly. Some said it was friendship. Others whispered destiny. Some believed it was coincidence. Others swore it was proof of something deeper, something hidden between fame and fate. The footage continued. Paramedics arrived minutes later, and the hooded man disappeared into the rain. Yibo was taken to the hospital, his name trending in 20 countries within an hour. But when journalists reached the scene, there was no trace of the second figure. Only the coat, black, drenched, and neatly folded inside the ambulance. Weeks later, an anonymous account posted a still frame from the footage, Yibo's hand clutching the sleeve of that coat. The caption read only one word: promise. It became legend overnight. Online detectives dissected every pixel, fans created slow-motion edits synced to music, and theorists connecteds that painted an emotional masterpiece of loyalty, danger, and unspoken love. Yet behind all the chaos, the only thing louder than the questions was the silence of the two men at the center of it all. Wang Yibo never gave a public statement. Not a word. Only a short message appeared on his social platform weeks later. Some accidents remind us who runs toward us when the world runs away. Fans knew. They didn't need names. But then, like thunder after calm, another clip leaked. This time, from inside the hospital corridor. Security footage again. A nurse walking by, a figure in a black cap entering Yibo's room at midnight. The timestamp matched the same night as the accident. The figure stayed for hours. Never moved, never left. And though the camera didn't show a face, the shape of his shoulders, the careful way he adjusted the blanket, it was enough. The world didn't need proof. The heart already knew. By dawn, news sites exploded. CCTV reveals Wang Yibo's secret visitor. Reporters camped outside the hospital. Fans lit candles, sang songs, and prayed for truth. The scene outside was like a festival of emotion, love, loyalty, confusion, all swirling under city lights. Then came the twist that changed everything. When the hospital finally released the official report, it contained a curious note. Patient was stabilized due to timely assistance from an unidentified male prior to ambulance arrival. The signature beneath? Faint but visible XC. The initials echoed like thunder across screens.
Blog erupted.
Hashtags soared beyond 1 billion views. Was it coincidence or confirmation? No one could say. But somewhere in the spaces between silence and truth, the story began to rhyme with everything that came before, every whisper, every rumor, every unseen bond that refused to break. As the world argued, one more video surfaced, the final piece of the puzzle. A dash cam from a passing car caught what no one else had seen. Just seconds before the crash, Yibo's car swerved. Not from loss of control, but from protection. The white car had spun out, losing grip, sliding toward a cyclist ahead. In that instant, Yibo turned his wheel, sacrificing his own path to save another life. He didn't crash because of recklessness. He crashed because of choice. The footage froze there, the heroism clear, the courage undeniable. The man who'd built his career on speed had chosen to slow down for someone else. That revelation broke the internet again, not with shock, but with awe. It painted Yibo not as a victim, but as a force, the kind of soul who risks everything quietly, never seeking applause. And for those who believed xiaozhan had been there, it added another layer of poetry. Two hearts tied not just by destiny, but by devotion that defied fame's cold machinery. The footage became legend, dissected in documentaries, echoed in fan films, retold in whispers. Each retelling felt like a prayer to what they shared, not just friendship or fate, but an unspoken promise that kept finding its way into the light, no matter how the world tried to hide it. When Wang Yibo finally reappeared in public, pale but smiling, the press erupted with questions. But he simply looked at the cameras and said softly, "Sometimes, the truth doesn't need words. It just needs time." That single line became a quote carved into memory. And though no one ever confirmed the identity of the man in the footage, the public didn't need a statement. The story had already written itself, in headlights, in raindrops, in the quiet touch of care that no fame could fake. Months passed, but the footage lived on. Fans compiled it into tributes. Artists painted scenes from the video. Every frame became a memory. Every rumor became rhyme. Because somehow, it wasn't just about a crash anymore, it was about connection. About how two lives, constantly orbiting each other, always found a way to collide and rise again. Behind the viral storm, some say the truth lies in a simple detail. When Wang Yibo returned to work, he wore a bracelet identical to the one xiaozhan was seen with months before. Same design, same silver glint under light. When fans noticed, they didn't need words. The story had come full circle, without a single confession. The leaked footage didn't just shake the world, it rewrote it. The timestamp glowed faintly at the corner of the screen, 23:47. The moment before everything changed. The camera was fixed high above the intersection, watching the lonely stretch of highway where dreams often met disaster. And there it was, Wang Yibo's black Audi slicing through the mist like a moving secret. It wasn't speeding. It wasn't reckless. It was precise, the kind of motion only someone with mastery could own. Every curve, every glide, every breath in sync with the hum of the engine. Rain streaked across the lens, turning the image into a watercolor of danger. Lightning cracked in the distance, illuminating the wet asphalt like a silver scar. And then, the shadow appeared. The white car. At first glance, it was nothing. A stranger in the night. But when the frames were slowed, the truth sharpened. The white car wasn't random. It had been waiting, parked 2 blocks away until Yibo's car passed. Then it followed. Tail lights mirrored tail lights. Every lane change, copied. Every turn timed. The kind of precision that sent shivers down the spine. Fans who analyzed the clip called it the silent chase. But silence can be louder than screams. The world watched frame by frame as the white car crept closer, headlights flaring brighter, reflections dancing across the rear window like ghosts. Inside Yibo's car, he was seen checking his mirror once, twice, the subtle tilt of his head showing awareness, not fear. Then the rain thickened. Sheets of water turned the world to blur. Yet the camera caught it. The flicker of red brake lights, the sudden swerve, the screech that cut through the storm. Metal collided with metal. The white car spun out, vanishing off-screen. Yibo's car veered sharply, crashing into the divider, sparks blooming like fireworks under the black sky. The impact was brutal, the sound thunderous, but the way he fought for control, gripping the wheel, bracing the spin, revealed not panic, but power. And then came that haunting stillness. Smoke. Steam. The quiet hum of the engine dying. A single wiper still moving across a shattered windshield. Seconds stretched like hours. Then the driver's door cracked open and Yibo emerged, his silhouette backlit by broken headlights, his breath visible in the cold air. His hand trembled slightly, his face half-shadowed, half-soaked in rain. He leaned against the car, exhaling pain, but refusing collapse. It was a scene out of a movie, but it wasn't fiction. What the footage showed next became the most replayed moment in Chinese entertainment history. A figure, barely visible, appeared through the mist. The grainy quality blurred his features, but something about the stride, the posture, the stillness amid chaos, it carried familiarity. The internet froze on that frame. The man moved closer, stopped just a few feet from Yibo, and reached out. A hesitant, protective gesture caught between fear and devotion. And though no audio existed, lip readers across platforms agreed. Yibo's lips formed one unmistakable phrase. You came. Those 2 words turned a crash into poetry. Every edit, every remix, every news clip replayed that millisecond. The moment stillness met storm, the instant pain turned to connection. Fans called it the heartbeat frame. Experts called it coincidence. But to those who believed in more than coincidence, it was proof that fate sometimes walks back into the fire for you. And yet, as magnetic as that moment was, the footage revealed even more when investigators enhanced the later frames. The mysterious figure, who disappeared before the ambulance arrived, was seen placing something on the driver's seat, a black coat. It remained there until medics lifted Yibo into the stretcher. When they carried him away, the coat slipped, revealing a faint stitched pattern, the initials XC. That single frame broke the internet. Coincidence or not, it was too poetic to ignore. But beyond the drama and digital chaos, what truly haunted viewers wasn't the mystery man, it was Yibo's silence. Even as paramedics surrounded him, he didn't speak. He kept his gaze fixed on the rain, his fingers lightly clutching the edge of that coat. It was as if he was holding on to a promise the world couldn't see. The final minutes of the footage showed the ambulance doors closing. And as they did, the reflection on the wet asphalt showed a car, the same white one, abandoned at the far end of the street, its driver's door wide open, its headlights flickering like dying stars. The question that followed was bigger than the crash itself. Was the white car chasing him or saving him? News outlets released reports, statements, and speculations. But what stood out was the unedited footage released days later by a local traffic bureau showing something the earlier clip didn't. Moments before the collision, the cyclist ahead, a delivery worker, had lost balance. Yibo's car had turned sharply to avoid him, taking the full force of the impact to prevent another life from ending. That revelation transformed the story overnight. He wasn't just a victim, he was a savior. The accident wasn't chaos, it was sacrifice. The same footage that had once terrified the world now inspired it. Fans across continents praised his instinct, his calmness under pressure, his humanity beneath fame. Hashtags like #Yibo the Protector and #Silent Hero trended for days. And through it all, he said nothing.